Hello everyone and welcome to episode 99 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling Series here on the channel, as it's a Friday episode. Went a little haywire Thursday. I was supposed to come out Thursday, woke up a little late, and then went to a friend's house, and that turned into what was supposed to be, maybe, like I assumed it was going to be like an hour, 2 hour thing, ended up being like a 6, 7, 8 hour ordeal. But, that's just the way it goes, as, sometimes things are out of my hands, but we are here for Friday, at least, for this Wrestle Grand Slam tour, which, weirdly enough, it is one of the shorter tours, so kind of odd that we had to delay it so much, but here we are. We're here for it. We're all ready to go. Everything's pre-booked. We have 2 tour shows for each Grand Slam show. Of course, the first one being in Tokyo, the next one being in Sapporo. So all around, it's going to be 6 shows for this episode. As for the actual matches itself, we have, a unique perspective on some of these matches. Some of them, the stories are being finished up or rounding up before going into Wrestle Kingdom, and some you see are going to have some implications, of course, building up to the Tag League and also building up to Wrestle Kingdom, and we have a lot of things going on, and also some where the matches itself or the highlight and kind of the story being told is just throughout this tour. So you got a little bit of everything. Something from a short-term perspective and something from a long-term. Well, maybe not long-term. That might be a bit of a stretch. Short-term to medium-term. And some long-term. Just kind of a little bit of everything. And I think that's kind of the best way to go about it, though. As far as you have something for the short-term, you got something for the medium-term, and then obviously something for long-term to build up for your major shows. And, this Wrestle Grand Slam Tour is pretty big, though. And it's also a good spot for talent that the focus, obviously, being the heavyweight title, has been very much the big thing of the year, obviously. We try to make that, obviously, our number one priority, and, mostly main events are focused on that. But there will not be a heavyweight title matchup on either Wrestle Grand Slam show, because obviously the build, we all know it is Konosuke Takeshita versus Seiya Tamura for the very first time for the heavyweight title, and that is the match for Wrestle Kingdom. There is no building up anymore. That is it. There is no surprises, no strings attached. That is the match. That is our main event, and we are building up to that with a couple of multi-main matches pretty much throughout now the rest of the year. We also have, as far as no Intercontinental title matchup as well, even though Volter obviously just won it, he just dropped the belt to Heihachi Tamura, as Tamura double champion. Figured since he just won the belt, it'd be kind of weird to have him transition into a title defense where there's really no story to be built to, so instead of kind of throwing it out there on somebody, figured might as well save it up and, build up some anticipation for his first defense. But yeah, this Grand Slam tour, we're trying to not only give the spotlight to a lot of guys that don't normally get the spotlight, but also I think we have some pretty fun main events. So the first night, which we talked about, the Order of Destruction, since they won the number one contendership matchup on the previous episode. Actually, I believe it was the episode. No, it was Power Struggle. I was thinking it was that Autumn Attack, but no, it was that Power Struggle as the Order of Destruction take on Volter and Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP Tag Team titles. As for the co-main event, another Tag Team title matchup. This time it's the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team title matchup. As the Golden Ace team take on Lucha Brothers. So the idea behind this, New Japan Strong, this literally yesterday in the game save, a 6-man tag had Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and if I remember correctly, it was Leona Fujinami. It wasn't Leona Fujinami. It was the debuting Daichi Hashimoto, because I just want to have Daichi Hashimoto. He's going to be a part of like the Young Lion, the Lion Mark Brigade. So he's going to be with Tanahashi and Fujinami, and just especially like Fujinami and Hashimoto, like that. Obviously, Tetsuya Fujinami and Shin Hashimoto, as far as from that regard to absolutely legendary figures in New Japan in the late 80s into the 90s. And as far as with that being said, I think that's a great idea for a team as far as like the next generation of stars into this new era. Especially, we're almost into a whole new decade now. We're going to be in 2026 before we know it, and all of a sudden we'll be in 2030, and that's going to be scary to think about. But as far as, just feels like that's kind of the plan going forward. And as far as, I believe it was Kota Ibushi pinned Pentagon Jr. Actually, it might have been Tanahashi pinning Pentagon Jr. now I think about it. But as far as that is the co-main event, and it should be a banger, though. Lucha Brothers have had a great little run. The last time these two teams battled that out against each other, though, was the 2023 Tag League. So 2 years back at the Tag League, Golden Ace won that match. So they have also gotten a win over them in the past. So a lot of momentum for Golden Ace going into it. Then right before the co-main, though, as far as Jon Moxley's reign of terror of being the interim champion, wanting to go through everybody of House of Black, well, he's got his last member on that list, and that is Robbie Eagles, the current junior heavyweight champion. So champion versus champion matchup for the U.S. title, though. Robbie Eagles has a huge opportunity to not only be the first Australian to ever win it, as far as, because Jay White won it, but obviously he's New Zealand, so that's the closest thing to it. To be the first Australian U.S. champion, also gets a chance to get the belt back for Tyler Black. And of course, for Jon Moxley, he's waiting for Wrestle Kingdom for Tyler Black to return. So, we have kind of the last piece of the puzzle for Jon Moxley as far as that matchup with Robbie Eagles. Oh, it should be a fun little matchup, though. Those styles are very, very different. But I think stylistically, it can mesh pretty well. Moxley's style, obviously a bit of a, the brawling style. It's something that can easily mold with other styles. Because it's just, you're punching and kicking. You're laying guys out. It's not too crazy. It's not like a lucha style where you need somebody to be a base. Like, he's pretty solid. He needs a pretty good base, too. But, of course, in real life, we just saw him get his fucking cranium scrambled a little bit with the Rey Fenix, with his finish. Which, and then, of course, the controversy of Rick Knox, I don't know why I said Rich Knox. Rick Knox not counting the 3. As far as, that's, you never want to be in that spot, as a ref. Because, obviously, the right thing to do is, the show must go on. You gotta count to 3 like it's a legit thing. Because now, once you pull any type of shenanigans, you have fucked the entire momentum of that matchup. And he most certainly did, because now they just had to redo the whole goddamn thing, do the whole finishing sequence again, and just to have Rey Fenix pin him again, when you could have had a great moment where nobody expected. Of course, going into that match, that Phoenix was probably going to get the win there. Would have made a, top guy, Moxley, calling the audible on the fly, but again, now it's just, now the whole fallout from that is, not only is Moxley hurt, but Knox fucks the finish up, so it's brutal. It's brutal to see that, especially for somebody that is that much of a veteran of the sport and of his position. That just shows you that a lot of times with Rick Knox, he was never really in that position. Actually, as I remember that, he was in the ring for, I think it was during the COVID era. Might have been right before COVID, now I'm thinking about it. I thought it was during the COVID era where Alex Reynolds gets killed on a double team spot and is basically lifeless. Like, they have to drag him in the corner and tag him out. And, Rick Knox is just still not really attending to him, making sure he's okay. Not, just nothing. Just letting the match go on as planned. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. That is number one rule for sure. When a performer is down, you gotta make sure that you check up on them, because you never know what might happen. And a lot of scary things can happen out there. And as far as, from that perspective, but, as far as that's just real life stuff, let's get back into the card here for Wrestle Grand Slam. As far as the Tokyo show, never overweight 6-man tag team title matchup as the House of Torture, Jay White, Miro, Brody King, taking on the Kingdom of Strong style of Nakamura, Alex Shelley, and Kushida. So, man, big opportunity for House of Torture, using their size and just their brute strength to maybe overcome Kingdom of Strong style and really just put the pressure on them. That's going to be a unique matchup for sure. Shinsuke Nakamura's got a tall task for him as far as to be able to keep those belts in the Kingdom of Strong style. Women's title matchup, Andreas Miyagi taking on Ashley Flair. Ashley Flair, of course, has defended this belt all over the world. She's got one more potential stop here as far as before Wrestle Kingdom. So, Big moment for her, potentially on the horizon, as far as if she can successfully defend her belt against Andreas Miyagi. Tag matchup here, building up to the Wrestle Kingdom main event. Tamura O'Reilly against Konosuke Takeshita and Fuminara Abe. Funny enough, we did this at the New Beginning show. I want to say it wasn't the US show. I believe it was the, I'm trying to think, what was the, I'm blanking on the two cities that were on for the New Beginning show, because I was thinking it was, I'm pretty sure it is Tokyo and Sapporo. Either way, Takeshita and Abe beat Tamura and O'Reilly, so we'll see if they can get the win there. Again, Dark Order vs. United Empire. I believe that will be an 8-man tag, which should be pretty electric, though, as far as, obviously, main event, Dark Order, with taking on United Empire, so it makes sense undercard to do the same thing with a multi-man matchup. I believe it's Brody Lee, Evil, Black Toy. It might even be a 10-man tag now I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure it's an 8-man. I believe it is Brody, it is Evil, and then Silver and Reynolds against United Empire team of United Rage. And then I want to say it's Alexander and Jarvis. It might be Gulak and Lee Moriarty now I'm thinking about it. I could be wrong on that. Pretty sure Lee Moriarty's down in the match that I'm thinking about it. But nonetheless, it is a multi-man match between Dark Order and United Empire. And then for the opener, Los Ingobernables de Japón versus the Designers of Perfection. As you see, the main event for Wrestle Grand Slam in Sapporo. Never Openweight title matchup. Sanada, Hiromu, former LIJ stablemates colliding for the Never Openweight title. As it's funny enough, Sanada and Hiromu, they've had a couple of title matches throughout the save so far. Intercontinental title matchup, Sanada beat Hiromu for the IC belt, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was... it might have been a successful defense now I'm thinking about it, from Sanada. But either way, he beat him. But Hiromu's beating him in a heavyweight title matchup. So they now have going to be battling for the third different belt in this save. And they're 1-1 in singles title matches. So that's... it's a big-time matchup for sure, obviously, and I think that's going to be a hell of a matchup. But to build up to that with an opener with I believe this is, one of these is a 10-man tag. It might even be LIJ versus Designers of Perfection, because I believe it is Hiromu Naito, and I believe Rush, SB Kento, and Bushi against Designers of Perfection, with being Sanada, Velocities, Tai Chi, and Burberry Baba. Believe that is that matchup. As for the co-main event for Wrestle Grand Slam in Sapporo, Ray Phoenix versus Robbie Eagles. Big time matchup here. So during the Best Super Juniors. Actually, no, not Best Super Juniors. I don't know what I was thinking of Best Super Juniors. Actually, during a New Japan Strong taping, they had a singles matchup between the two men. Ray Phoenix beat him. Now that Robbie Eagles is the champion, Ray Phoenix is elected to challenge for the Junior Heavyweight title based off of that victory. So we get a major co-main event, though. And Ray Phoenix, obviously he's been away from the junior division for a while, but, he's had an Intercontinental title run. He's had chances to move up to heavyweight, and he's, been a tag team champion with his brother. Now he's a New Japan Strong Openweight champion with his brother, but now he's got a chance to be not only junior champion, but potentially the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champion, of course, if they, in fact, retain the previous night. Then a Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team title matchup, Koji Kamai versus House of Torture. So you see there, titles are changing hands. Kingdom of Strong Style will, in fact, lose, because it's going to turn into a 2-on-3, thanks to Sanada attacking Shinsuke Nakamura in a brawl throughout the arena and into the crowd to build up to their Wrestle Kingdom title matchup. So, as far as potentially, maybe Hiromu beats him here, as far as in the main event for the Wrestle Grand Slam Sapporo show. Another building matchup between Konosuke Takeshita and Hayata Tamura there as well, as far as with Tamura, O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong taking on Konosuke Takeshita, Kota Ibushi, and Fuminara Abe. So basically the same match we did on the Tokyo show, but now we're adding Roderick Strong and Kota Ibushi to the mix. So that should be a pretty good matchup. Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup. So after losing their 6-man Tag Team titles, they get a Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup because They beat the Velocities during the Junior Tag League. So, you get a title match there. An opportunity to at least leave this tour with some type of gold. So that's a huge opportunity for them. Then the New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup, Pentagon Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. So, the idea, as far as with these two, I'll just go ahead and say it. Co-main event, Pentagon Jr. beats Tanahashi, which will lead to this match. It's Pentagon Jr., Tanahashi for the New Japan Strong Openweight title. Not only does Ray Phoenix, but Pentagon Jr. has a chance to be double champions. We may have 3 double champions by the end of this tour. So that is a huge, huge opportunity for the Lucha Brothers there. Then we're going to have United Empire versus Peace, Love, and War matchup. As United Empire has done pretty well for themselves, obviously. And taking on Peace, Love, and War, I think it's a good call. With, obviously, potentially still the tag team champions there with Zack Sabre Jr. and Walter as they take on the Peace, Love, and War team of Juice, Barbaro Cabanero, and Alex Coughlin. In the opener, it's an 8-man tag. Suzuki-gun versus Task Force Death, and we see the newest debutee of Suzuki-gun. And Takanori Ito. Takanori Ito, as far as Glite background, was training karate. Pretty awesome dude, to be honest. He fits the mold for Suzuki-gun with a legit background. A guy that could team with not only Tozawa as like a junior, but also I think could have a good little run with either Shino, maybe even Claudio. Like, Suzuki-gun getting another member is always nice. Because right now, I was hoping Rex would pull off some good ratings after a while. Hasn't happened. Tozawa's getting older. So now it just basically it's leaving 3 guys right now with like Hook. Also, Yehai too, but Yehai has a torn muscle right now. He as far as so he's out for this tour and probably the next tour as well. So they're kind of a little thin, and I think this would be a great opportunity to bring in Takanori Ito. Because not only do I think he will fit the mold for what Suzuki-gun's all about, but I think he's going to be a guy to help elevate not only just the talent around him as well. So that's going to be fun. As the Task Force Death, though, I believe it's going to be Kingston. It's going to be Shota Umino. It's going to be John Moxley. And then I believe there will be... I think it's Kenta. I believe Kenta's in that matchup. So that's a hell of an opener, actually, when you think about some of those names in that matchup. But yeah, all around, it's a fun little card. I'm hoping for some fireworks in this one for sure. The co-main event's got a big opportunity there for Robbie Eagles. That's a big, big matchup. But Ray Phoenix is super talented, and hopefully it works out for him, as far as from that perspective. Hiromu and Sanada is going to be a fun main. I think also the Order of Destruction versus Walter and Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be a fun match as well. Oh yeah, without further ado, let's get into the tour. As we've ran through the shows, let's see what we get. So Andreas Miyagi, she's got her first singles matchup. She's taking on Tom Nakano there. And then we also have a Dark Order United Empire multi-man matchup. We have an LIJ Designers of Perfection multi-man matchup lined up. We also see the debut of the Prehistoric Barbarians as they've made their debut on Strong. Now they're going to make their debut here on the main side of the tour. So this might be the main, if I had to guess. It's a nice little 6-man. Hiromu with SB Kendo and Bushi against Sanada and the Velocities. Fun little matchup as Paris de Silva is going to beat SB Kento. We'll see the Dark Order United Empire match. Yeah, that's really good. As the Order of Destruction with Black Taurus taking on Zack Sabre Jr., Walter, and Lee Moriarty as Hobbs is going to beat Moriarty. So a big win for the Dark Order. So yeah, that actually will be the main event. So we got Tamura and Sho against Dynamic Duo Tandem as Endo's going to beat Sho. Tough break there for the Dragon's Den team. Then we'll go with, I believe, Andreas Miyagi and Tom Nakano. Yes, set for Steal the Show. Andreas is going to win in 10 minutes. Then we have the Technical Masterclass matchup of the House of Torture. Brody King, Drew Parker, take out on Shinsuke Nakamura and Ren Narita. Drew Parker's going to beat Narita, so that's a big opportunity there for the House of Torture. The Prehistoric Barbarians Barbaro Cabanero and Caveman Oog. Perfect team. Just kind of makes sense. It's a caveman and a barbarian. Actually, they're both cavemen, as far as Barbaro Cabanero and Caveman Oog, it makes sense. Just makes sense. Just a team that the stars aligned with that one. They're taking on some young lions, though, in Bakken Okamoto and Kiyomitsu Kasai, as Caveman Oog will be getting the win. It's kind of crazy. He was there. He was one of our first signings, Caveman Oog, to think way back when, the save, and we rarely used him. I think he wrestled maybe 2 or 3 matches for us. Yeah, he worked 1 strong the first year. Then I believe the second year he might have worked a little bit more. I think, that's when we bought CMLL, so we sent him down there for maybe a little bit. But mainly, and then after that, it was just like, alright, we've used him 3 times, we're going to release him. He worked MCW, then he got signed by All Japan in 2023, and he had been there ever since. So I was just kind of waiting on his contract to come up. It's come up, and so far we've booked the prehistoric Barbarians on Strong, past couple of matches as far as taking on Young Lions. And I think this is it's a good spot for him. It's a good spot for him to be a part of Peace, Love, and War. He's, I'm a big fan of Caveman Oog, to be honest, as far as he's... Maybe, if there was one thing I could probably add to him, is maybe... I'm trying to think what would that actually be, because he is super talented. Super talented as far as... I just feel like maybe just try and get out of Australia, maybe, unfortunately. As far as MCW, it's great, but you need to kind of branch out a little bit to start really climbing the rankings in a serious matter. Try to get somewhere that's got TV, type of thing. But that's tough, though. That is very, very tough. There's a lot of talent out there. Oh yeah, we gotta make sure we pick a venue. As far as obviously pretty rugged tour so far after going off of a long tour like the Power Struggle tour. So we gotta find, so we can run day 4, or we can go back to, we haven't ran here since August, so that'd be a great time to do that. Yeah, let's just run the 5,000 seater. Why not? Alrighty, 57 for the opener, as Carvanero and Oog beating Kimitsu Kasai and Bakken Okamoto. So yeah, Barbaric Cabanero is definitely the worker of the two. As the Barbaric Bomb, though, from Caveman Oog and the Barbaric Cabanero. As I believe, from what I remember from that Barbaric Bomb, I believe it's the old finish that the APA do and No Mercy, where it's the kind of double running power bomb, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I added that, so I just was trying to remember what exactly that was, but I'm pretty sure that was it. So 76, from House of Torture versus Nakamura and Ren Narita. Flying foot stomp from Parker over Narita. Pretty decent little matchup. Obviously, Brody King and Drew Parker are a good little team. They did pretty well, but yeah, 76 is not bad at all. Especially for a tour show like this. It's Andreas Miyagi beating Tom Nakano as, Miyagi, 69, not a bad start for her. She wins with a swanton in 940. Got the crowd buzzing, too. That's not bad. 82 for the Tamura show. Konosuke Takeshita Tetsuya Endo matchup again. That the building up to Takeshita and Tamura. 2 young guns leading us into the new millennium. We got the UJPW series on my mind as far as talking about building up to the new millennium, but building up to as far as into the future of New Japan with those young stars. 78. For the 6-man, that's interesting. As I thought it was a decent little matchup. Sonata and Hiromu did really well, and just Paris De Silva though pinning SB Kento in 2029. Another 78. It's Black Taurus with Will Hobbs and Calvin Tankman beating the Moriarty, Volters, Active Junior teams. An upset for sure, but it's a nice win. It's a nice win indeed. At least Hobbs, in Moriarty, Hobbs is the best guy on the Dark Order team, and Moriarty, worst guy on the United Empire team. But all around, a lot of those matches did pretty well. well, we'll take it. So not a bad show there for the first night of the tour. And now on to the second one and the final one until we get into the Wrestle Grand Slam in Tokyo. Alrighty, Day 2 Road to show here for the Wrestle Grand Slam tour. So we do have one backstage incident. It's just Bryan Danielson passing on microphone work to Dante Martin. So for this main event, I believe the Dark Order United Empire matchup might not be the main this time. So I believe we're going to have it be Golden Ace and Blastoff versus Task Force Death. Because it's a pretty big matchup, you know. Tanahashi, Bushi, Jason Lee, and Tetsuya Endo versus Jon Moxley in the Death Triangle. Pac will be beating Jason Lee there in 20 minutes. Yeah, just, you know, as far as get involved in the finish, as far as the guys that are not really involved on that final show. With Pac, of course, beating Jason Lee. It feels like that's a layup decision. We also have Robbie Eagles and El Kukui versus Eddie Kingston and Shota Umino on the show. Let's see with this Dark Order. Yeah, I figured this was the Junior 6-man. I remember making that match. As Makabe is going to beat Alex Reynolds. Yeah, you know, obviously Makabe, Gresham, and Gavin McGavin, the much better team. The Dark Order Junior team. Yeah, well, speaking of that Robbie Eagles, El Kukui, Kingston, Shota Umino matchup, we'll add that now. So the Tactical Masterclass matchup for the show is Robbie Eagles will be beating Shota Umino. That's going to be an 18-minute matchup there. We got Hiromu Naito versus Tai Chi and Sanada. As far as a tag matchup, Hiromu beating Tai Chi. Challenger beating champion. Of course, their matchup is not for a couple of days. But it's nice to kind of showcase that matchup as well. So as far as Hiromu and Sanada against each other in that tag match, we'll put that here. Then we got Jarvis and Alexander versus Hideo Oka and Hiroshi Miyagi. Josh Alexander will be getting the win there in 10 minutes. Just, you know, a little Young Lion matchup and a nice showing from the Alexander Jarvis team. We also have a women's tag match. It's Chris Statlander and Starlight Kid. Kind of like this idea of kind of, you know, with the alien and the Starlight Kid. It just feels like it's a bit of a unique matchup. They're taking on the team of Maki Ito and Toni Storm. Part of me, you know, it's a bit of a thrown together team for Maki Ito and Toni Storm, but the gimmick that Toni Storm's rocking now, I think paired with Maki Ito, would be pretty fun to see. It'd be entertaining, that is for sure. Starlight Kid will be getting the win, though, over Maki Ito in a 10-minute affair. Yeah, I think for this one, I think we'll put it as a match right after the Tactical Masterclass tag match. A lot of tag matches here, obviously. But, yeah, it should be a pretty decent little show. I think the previous one might have been just a tad bit better on a star power perspective, but we'll see. You never know how a show might run until you actually run it. Yeah, we'll be running the large hall there in Matsuyama City for this one. So yeah, 54 for the opener. Alexander Jarvis, much better team than Hiroshi, Miyoshi, and Hideo Oka. Hideo Oka is actually really good, but it's, yeah, I mean, Hiroshi Miyoshi's maybe the worst Young Lion we have. Pretty brutal, as he loses to Josh Alexander from the TKO. Daniel, not a bad opener. Just, you know, as far as you're going to get that out of a Young Lion matchup. 72, though, from Kingston and Shota Umino against Robbie Eagles and El Kukui. Good little matchup here. Paul Stroud from Eagles beating Shota Umino. Not bad at all. 67 from Starlight Kid and Chris Statlander taking on Toni Storm, Maki Ito. The Storm Ito team was the better team. Statlander's not really all that well, which is mainly because her popularity. She's not really over in Japan. The sliced bread number 2 for Starlight Kid over Maki Ito in 10-10. 77 from the Dark Order United Empire Junior 6-man matchup. Obviously, Gresham and Makabe doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but Black Taurus and John Silver did pretty well as well. Makabe submitting Alex Reynolds with the Makabe lock. Picking up the win there is a 78 for Hiromu and Naito against Sanada and Tai Chi, two teams with excellent chemistry out there, having a good little matchup, even in their state of old age in this matchup. mainly with Taichi and Naito. But, Sanada, I just combined Sanada and Naito's name there, but Sanada and Hiromu with 87s. That's going to be a good main event for sure between those two. That definitely is a bona fide main event. And 82, though, for our main event of this tour show, as a blast-off with Tanahashi taking on Task Force Death, Pac with the Black Arrow there as a corkscrew shooting star press, picking up the win over Jason Lee. Pac, best guy in the match, followed by Ibushi and Rey Fenix. It's crazy that, Ibushi's probably the one guy from this save where if you had to suspect how he's going to be performing in 2025, him being the best guy in this matchup is definitely a bit of a stretch. But that's just kind of the way it is. You can't predict everything. Pentagon Jr. doing pretty well for himself as well. It's crazy that he'd be 40 in 2025. Tanahashi would be 48. Ibushi would be in his mid-40s. Pretty sure Pac would be damn near in his 40s, too. It's going to be a wild time in a couple of years. That is for sure. A lot of the people that we've been watching for over a decade, or 2 decades for Tanahashi's sake, and Ibushi too. They're going to be getting older and older. It's going to be interesting to see how their body holds up, especially for Pac too, because his style, of course, is quite fantastic. But also, he's had some pretty bad injuries throughout his career so far. That's a good little main event, though. Actually did a lot better than the previous show, thanks to that main event. So how about that? Not a bad tour show at all in the books, as on to the Wrestle Grand Slam in Tokyo show. Alrighty, so yeah, they already have us in the Tokyo Dome, as we'll probably, depending on if we can, it'd be nice obviously to run the Tokyo Dome, but we don't necessarily have to, as far as if I guess we could, though. It makes sense to just keep it. It's Wrestle Grand Slam. Sure, maybe they would get to the point where they could have a baseball team play in the National Stadium, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Might as well, right? Might as well keep it in the Tokyo Dome. 42,000 on hand, of course, for this one. Because, it'd be close to a sellout, though, for the National Stadium, which is pretty crazy to think that it would be mildly reduced, that number. So, kind of wild. Kind of wild. Oh, as I forgot, a backstage incident. Oh, yeah, we got a couple of them. So, Ishimori first entertained the locker room by organizing a poker tournament. Then Tomohiro Ishii and Tomoya Tom Ford, as Ishii passing on microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford. As for the main event, of course, tag team title matchup, Order of Destruction versus Zack Sabre Jr. And Walter beats Calvin Tankman for them to retain, so they will be the champions going into the tag league. And they've pretty much sealed their fate of going to Wrestle Kingdom as the tag team champions. So that's a huge get for both Zack and Walter there, beating the Order of Destruction. Then, of course, the co-main event, as far as with this card's pretty stacked. Pretty stacked with, with Golden Ace, Lucha Brothers being the co-main. Pentagon Jr. beating Hiroshi Tanahashi. So yeah, we talked about this obviously at the beginning of the episode, with now leading to the strong openweight title matchup on the next big show in Sapporo. That's a pretty straightforward match. Rey Fenix, Kota Ibushi not involved in the finish, but 3 out of those 4 guys are really good, so should be a pretty good co-main. Robbie Eagles, though, versus Jon Moxley, and Moxley beats Robbie Eagles in 25 minutes for yet another defense. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to really see how that run has been for him. Tough break for Eagles. It might look bad on House of Black, losing like that. I can definitely see where somebody would be like, man, you really just killed House of Black with one angle with Jon Moxley running through them all. But I think this does, El Kukui's beaten him before, so I don't think it's that much of a destruction of that. And plus, it's not like he's doing it like all in one night, as far as each guy's had their defense. And Robbie Eagles is right now a junior heavyweight champion. And if he does in fact beat Ray Phoenix, boy, what a get for him to. Sure, he loses to Moxley, but to beat Ray Phoenix in a one-on-one matchup, that's pretty big. As far as it's give and take this business. So you gotta. Yeah, as far as I wouldn't say it's 50-50 booking because it's not like he's doing it to the same guy type of thing, but it is give and take. You're gonna get that. But House of Torture here, taking on the Kingdom of Strong Style. Like I said earlier, we know that House of Torture is going to get the win, as Jay White will be beating Kushida, and turns into a 2-on-3 basically, thanks to Sonata's interference. So this is, House of Torture's had these belts for a good bit now, as far as different variations, of course, over the years. They've the first one, I think, was Jay White, Miro, and Takeda. Yes, it was. Oh, no, it wasn't. The first one was Miro Brody and Toru Sugiura. That's kind of funny. Back in 2021. Was there one before that, I wonder? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was the first one. Miro Brody King, Toru Sugiura, no defenses, and then going into Jay White, Miro, and Takeda, which did pretty well for themselves, as far as they won the belts at the New Year's Dash, if I remember correctly there. That actually might have been during the Gauntlet era, where we actually ran the Gauntlet in Wrestle Kingdom, but I'm pretty sure that was at the New Year's Dash. Pretty sure. Then we got the Young Bucks having a good reign with AJ Styles, of course, Rushmore. Then into as far as the final reign for them, was of course during Brody King and Miro. So, it's kind of funny that Miro's kind of been the common link for the most part. I guess technically, as far as from kind of the perspective of, because Miro's been there for all of them. So yeah, he's been the common link now, so this will be his fourth reign. It's kind of wild to think. And then for Brody King, he's had a couple as well. So it's kind of funny, Jay White has had the least amount of reigns of this Never Openweight 6-man belts. But, Miro, of course, has been pretty solid for us. 40 years old, still doing well. He's had, really the Never Openweight division. That's really been his. And I think that's fair to say that's kind of what I would have envisioned probably he would be. As far as his style, the way he could work, that kind of would work for what we wanted that Never Openweight title to be. Just kind of the baddest motherfuckers in wrestling type of, I would say, yeah, I guess, division, as far as, for lack of a better word. They would be able to really let go and kick the shit out of each other, just beat the shit out of each other. And yeah, I think that's a perfect division for him. Then the women's title matchup. Andreas Miyagi taking on Ashley Flair. Flair wins. We have to borrow the belt, so I just gotta remember to do that right now. As far as that's another successful defense for her, as the borrowing of the title there. So that's her 7th defense. She's now surpassed Hana Kimura, which is a massive, massive get. Let's see here, as women's title. Alright, so I think with Ashley Flair here. So there's two different types of angles I was thinking of. Option 1, video promo from her new challenger, since we just had her get attacked during a press conference. So I don't want to have her next challenger be ran into by as far as with that challenge. We could, as I think it would be interesting to see this second option. The second option being with Hana Kimura coming out to interrupt Ashley Flair, as Ashley is grabbing the microphone after the match and talking about now that she is the most successful women's champion in the history of the company. She's going to defend that belt almost every part of the globe, and she's now going to Mexico for a chance to potentially defend her title against Saleta. So that she's talking about going to Mexico and then how she'll be back, still your queen of New Japan, the lioness of New Japan. I think that'd be kind of a fun gimmick for Flair to go from, as far as the queen of the WWE into the lioness of New Japan. As far as being the top girl, but Hana Kimura, as far as invokes her rematch clause. Of course, being a champion, she gets that right. But also, before those two, as far as before they head back to the ring, they get interrupted with a flashing of a blackout. Just kind of lights flickering up on the Videotron. So the lights are flashing, and we get Julia. Incredible, right? As far as Julia appearing, and only she can. Stunning. I don't want to go on another tangent, but she's to me, she's the X factor of what kind of Joshis are all about and what she can do. I think she can do it all. She's incredible, and definitely, I think she, her, and I think it's funny, we're using Hana Kimura because I think those two. Unfortunately, Hana obviously no longer with us, but I think those two would have been the faces of what kind of Joshis became, as far as the face of what they, kind of taking the baton from Mayu Iwatani, taking the baton from the girls as far as Surai. Trying to think who else was really kind of at the top of their game, but was kind of. Well, Utami Hayashishita kind of came out of nowhere. So I would definitely say she was someone as well that took the baton and ran with it. But to go into a triple threat for Flair, Kimura, and Julia for Wrestle Kingdom, that's the idea. As far as Hana Kimura, Ashley Flair said, you better make sure you do, in fact, successfully defend your title in Mexico. Because if not, you are going to miss out on the chance to as far as being in the ring at Wrestle Kingdom, the biggest stage. So this is a hell of a triple threat, though, for Wrestle Kingdom. And a surprise of Julia. You got Hana Kimura, Ashley Flair. As far as we'll just put call it women's title match for Wrestle Kingdom is set? Question mark. Because obviously, who knows? Maybe Hana, or not. Maybe not Hana Kimura. Maybe Ashley Flair does in fact not successfully defend her title against Saleta, and it's going to be Saleta in there with Hana Kimura and Julia. But yeah, just as far as little video promo, so a lot going on, a lot of shifting happening there. As then so I believe, if I remember correctly, is it the Dark Order matchup? I don't think it's a Dark Order matchup. It's Dragon's Den versus Konosuke Takeshita and Fumino Abe, which is a banger. And again, a match that happened back at the New Beginning in Osaka back in February. So rematch there, and tomorrow we'll be beating Abe. 24-minute matchup there. Dark Order, United Empire. Tactical Masterclass matchup here for the Dark Order and United Empire. So, it's O'Connor. I thought it was United Rage. So yeah, it's Brody, Taurus, Evil, John Silver. Gresham's going to beat Silver in 21 minutes. And then Designers of Perfection versus LIJ 10-man tag. As Hiromu will be beating Burberry Baba. Naito not involved in this matchup. Probably a bit of a shocking development, but I figured Shingo could have some fun in this one instead, and I think he'd be the better performer. And, Rush being in there, I just love Rush. So kind of a shocking omission from the match. But all around, though, LIJ get the win as Roman's going to beat Burberry Baba. to kick off the show. Okay, Justin King is being used too much. Assuming he's involved in the main, he is. That will be Red Shoes match now. Alright. So for the post-show stuff, we will have one with United Empire. As far as looking to, as far as they might have lost with Walter and Zack Sabre Jr., as far as Walter losing out on his title the last time we saw him. But he now is kind of looking at that as a blessing in disguise, because now he can dominate with his partner and Zack Sabre Jr. He can now solely focus on the IWGP Tag Team titles, and he plans on keeping these belts with Zack for a very long time, and they hype up the Tag League as well, so a little just hyping up of the Tag Team division there. We'll have one with Moxley, as far as Moxley's plan, as far as, with Tyler Black being gone, and him running through all that he could in as far as the U.S. title, House of Black. Just ran through them all. Says, well, he gave your boys a chance. Now that it's coming to Wrestle Kingdom time, if his bitch ass is going to make it, as far as the issue of the challenge for Jon Moxley, it's on the table. Tyler Black, if not, if he can't make it, if he's not a man enough to show up for Wrestle Kingdom, he'll fight anybody. He doesn't give a shit, type of thing. As far as he's, he might spend the night in Roppongi to bring in the new year with Shooter. As far as, well, gotta give a showing of Shooter here. As far as he can be someone that's, he won't be rated, but just name dropping Shooter since he's there with him. That he's just, he's looking to be this U.S. champion for as long as he has to. As far as, not as long as he has to, as long as he needs to. I mean, a good little reign so far. 3 defenses would be 56 days. It's already the most defenses since Claudio. So just in this short amount of time, it's had a pretty good reign. This is the best reign he's had since the actual start of the save. To kind of think about from that perspective. Be a 3-time champion, not a 5-time champion. Don't mind that. But as far as that's very, very funny to think about. As far as he's already better than the last reign as well. Not 3-time, 4-time champion rather. Jesus. Yeah, I mean he's oh Jesus, sorry everyone, as I forgot to turn that down. Let's turn that down. So yeah, just Moxley hyping up the U.S. title matchup for Wrestle Kingdom. And then, I'm trying to think who else. We could maybe have Flair have one, as far as, that could be a good idea. Let's go House of Torture. Why not? Or, let's go Sonata. Right, I think that's going to be a fun one. As far as with Sonata. Talking about Hiromu, as far as, we'll have him not be involved there. As far as Sonata, talking about it, just, he gets to, had a great night, the Designers of Perfection. Sure, they lost in their 10-man, but he himself costing Shinsuke Nakamura his title, and just a big smile on his face, as far as, sure, we might have lost tonight, but it's in the end, it's a winning night for Designers of Perfection. And then he gets attacked by Nakamura, as Nakamura is just irate, just as far as, we'll have him be on fighting. I guess that makes sense. Post-show press conference gets attacked by Nakamura. So a little returning of the favor for Nakamura. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid little lineup of press conferences. Alrighty, so yeah, we're good to go. We can run the Wrestle Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome. We should be good to go. And as far as hopefully nobody gets hurt or anything. 86 for the opener. Love a good old 10-man to open up the show. So yeah, Tai Chi with a 58. That's actually not too bad. But yeah, Hiromu, 92. Incredible stuff. Sonata with an 83. Roosh with an 86. Fuck yeah. That was a good little match, though. Got the crowd hot. Show off the strong start, too. Well, it being such a good start is probably going to mean the Technical Masterclass matchup is going to suck a fat dick. Oh, it didn't. How about that? Actually did alright. Yeah, I mean, this was really going to be Makabe and Gresham's kind of carrying job, and it absolutely was. I figured Khan could have him out a little bit, but it wasn't enough. So yeah, a bit of a dip down in quality with that one. But Gresham gets the win, though, nonetheless, with a spike driver over Silver. It's a 96, Jesus. Tamura and O'Reilly beating Abe and Korosuke Takeshita. What a win. They were the better team, O'Reilly and Tamura, even with Tamura being off his game. Actually, they might have been dead even, though I'm looking at these stats. They might have been slightly better, now I'm thinking about it. Like by a point or two, but Tamura getting the Hayato driver win over Abe in a banger. Ashley Flair beating Andreas Miyagi with the figure 4, her 7th defense. Just what a run she's had. I actually want to double check to make sure. Okay, no, I did. Just wanted to make sure that was set correctly, and it was. It damn near did better than the actual match itself that we just saw. So that's gonna be a fun match, though. Triple threat between those three ladies. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. 83 from House of Torture versus Kingdom of Strong Style. As Jay White with the Blade Runner over Kushida. And Sonata with the run-in attacking Nakamura. And we have new Never Overweight 6-man champions with House of Torture. It's a fun match, though. Brody King, worst guy in the match. That's kind of shocking. As I just was putting over Miro, he was one of the worst guys in the match, too. Is he finally getting to the point where he's starting to suck there? Oh, no, just inconsistency. We got a very hot crowd, though, for this one, so that's great. 86. How about that for Moxley and Robbie Eagles? Robbie Eagles kind of falls apart here on the big spotlight. But Moxley carries him to a very, very good performance from John himself as he gets the third defense there. Getting the win with the double arm DDT. 98, goddamn, for the Lucha Brothers Golden Ace matchup. As the Lucha Brothers making their second defense of the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team titles as Pentagon Jr. with the cross armbar over Tanahashi. What a performance, though, from the Lucha Brothers there. And our main event, damn, it's a 93. The co-main outperformed this one. I'm very, very shocked with that, to be honest. But yeah, what a win for Volter and Zack Sabre Jr. as they beat the Order of Destruction. Giant bomb from Volter over Tankman. And that's their second defense of their tag team titles. I mean, what a show. We got back to what we're all about, though. With that, I cannot believe. I mean, the tag matches, though, again, just killing it. They were the highlight of the show, with both the straight-up 2v2 matches. You know, Dragon's Den, Konosuke Takeshita, Abe, second best match on the card. Co-main event, best match on the card, and then the third best matchup was the main event, which, surprise, surprise, tag matchup. So, that was definitely the tag team show, if there's ever been one for this series. That was really, really good. First of all, we got to put over Ray Fenix. And we got to put over Kota Ibushi. And, yeah, I mean, we should probably put over Konosuke Takeshita while we're at it. Just a hell of a show. And a hell of a showing from that side of the talent pool. Hell yeah. And now, we get to see Ray Fenix again in the co-main event spot. Taking on Robbie Eagles. And I think Hiromu and Sonata's got a really good chance to outperform that previous main event. So we'll see if they do in fact do that, as on to the next part of the tour we go to, the Wrestle Grand Slam in Sapporo. Alrighty, as far as day 3 of the tour shows, as far as Hiroshi Tanahashi passing on tips on oh my god, Tanahashi passing on tips on using psychology rather to Shobu Takubo, and then Bryan Danielson's passing on psychology to Dante Martin. As boy, that previous last year's tour show, pretty brutal. Yeah, the year before that one was better. It looks like we've ran. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. We always run as far as Kanzai on this night, so we might as well keep that going. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna run the old Wakayama Parectual Gymnasium. So the main event, I think it will be Taichi Hashimoto's debut, as they're taking on Dark Order here. Daichi Hashimoto beating Evil. Never mind, it's a 10-minute matchup. Boy, we really have not given that a lot of time at all. Kingdom Strong Style versus Designs of Perfection, 6-man tag. A Steal the Show 6-man tag. I thought this was going to be something completely different than this, but we'll take it. As Shelly's going to beat Barry Baba in that one. So then we have LIJ of Hiromu and Bushi against Sonata and Aiza Collection NYC. Another 10-minute matchup, as Bushi's going to beat Aiza Collection NYC. So first of all, this card has been a little lackluster, to say the least, here. And then we have the Young Lion matchup of Mexa Blood, El Hero del Phantasm, and then Samurai del Sol against Ukiyo Miyagi and Shobo Takubo. Of course, Mexa Blood's getting the win on that one. So one of these two is going to be a technical match class, one of them is going to be a main event. Potentially. So, Koji Kamai taking on House of Torture, Jay White, Drew Parker, Taiji Shimori against, obviously, Okada and Francesca Kira, and then El Hero del Airbender, as Okada will be getting the win in that one. To, of course, build up to their 6-man title matchup, which, again, the smaller team of Koji Kamai are taking on a big challenge of Brody King, Miro, and Jay White. So then Task Force Death and House of Black, and this match is really fucking good for it to be a technical masterclass matchup, is Death Triangle, Pac with the Lucha Brothers against Malachi Black, Robbie Eagles, and El Kukui, which is another loss for House of Black. It's Malachi Black losing to Pac in that one. Yeah, this is, honestly, kind of looking at this card, I think this won't be the technical masterclass matchup, because first of all, this is a banger for what that is entailing. We'll still have that be the main, and Koji Kamai and House of Torture, but I think, from a perspective, I don't think this should be a technical masterclass matchup, but this should be a little bit higher, though, as far as from a match rating perspective. Give them 17 minutes at least. And then, I honestly think it's got to be this as the technical masterclass matchup. I think that's the best case scenario. Yeah, so I like that a little bit more. Just kind of flows a little bit better. I think it's going to be a pretty good show. Now, look at the lineup here. We'll see, though. 63 for the opener. So, yeah, Akuya Miyagi is really solid. Really solid. Shobo, though, was really off his game, so that affects his injury, or affects his performance, rather. Jesus says, Phantasm with the bridging German suplex. He gets the win there in 9:45. Samurai del Solo doing the heavy lifting in this one. 76 for Hiromu and Bushi against Sonata and Aiza Collection NYC. Yeah, I mean, Yasutaka Yano, now Aiza Collection NYC, has really been pretty bad. When you kind of look at that performance rating itself, that is not great. It is a technical masterclass matchup, but when you kind of think about what he has been, like, just as far as from he's been around forever, and you look at, like, someone like Akuya Miyagi, who's a regen young lion who did about the same rating as that, is not great. Not great at all for him. As Daichi Hashimoto in his debut with a 61. Oof. Yeah, I mean, figured it was going to be not at the same level as some of these other guys in his matches. But to have a 61 is not a great start for him. But you got to start somewhere, right? As far as him getting the win with Golden Ace, I just love that idea of having Tanahashi, Fujinami, and Hashimoto. Just feels right, you know, as far as having those guys be the Lion Mark team. But the vertical drop Brainbuster, too, over Evil is pretty awesome. A 74, Kingdom of Strong Style versus Designs of Perfection. Shelly with the Shirin-Yu, rather, over Burberry Baba. Shelly actually was almost the worst guy on his team. Or he was the best guy on his team, rather, Jesus. As Kushida was really off his game. Drew London and Paris Day Silva outperforming, damn near outperforming Alex Shelley for Paris Day Silva's part. But Drew London definitely did. He was the best guy in the match. I'm surprised that got a 74, to be honest, kind of looking at those ratings. We got pretty lucky on that one. And 76 for Task Force Death versus House of Black. Pac, best guy in the match. he beats the worst guy in the match, Malachi Black, with a 630. Fuck yeah. Yeah, Death Triangle, they've been an incredible act still, for us, as far as they've been incredible, pretty much since we've been booking them. So Okada, with Francesco Akira and El Hijo del Airbender beating the House of Torture team. It was relatively close, just Drew Parker kind of brings the House of Torture team down. But, so good stuff, though. The La Maestra Cradle for Okada over Ishimori. Kind of wish Drew Parker took the finish, that's what I give for not picking a winner. But yeah, that was at least better than last year's show by far. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been the theme of the tour. We have 5 pretty good matches and then a Young Lions match that's decent. So, we'll take it. We'll take it. And now on to the final tour show. Hard to believe. We're already at the final tour show here for episode 99. As, fingers crossed. Just nobody gets hurt and should be a pretty successful tour. Alrighty, the last tour show. As backstage incidents, Satoshi Kojima, Hayata Tamura, as Satoshi Kojima's passing on microphone work to Hayata Tamura. And then Shinsuke Nakamura. Passing on psychology tips to Nariya Takakawa. As, as far as that's a... Can't go wrong with elevating the Young Lions. I tell you what, though. We don't even have the best Young Lions in the save. All Japan have a Young Lion. And I try to fucking steal him because he's really good. He's like getting high 60s. He's like not even out of his first year. Like he's unreal. But he's got a loyalty to All Japan, so we can't just like full on steal him. So it's either I wait a little bit and take him on a handshake deal and go from there, or what? Because he is unreal. Unreal. We're on the Bibu, little Beacon Plaza here. So yeah, we'll probably be running obviously the Sapporo Dome coming up. I kind of wish we did not run the first day at the Hokate Arena. That was a mistake on our part, for sure. Because hopefully it'll be enough to sell it out, but that would be pretty unfortunate if, in fact, we will not be able to do that. But, we're a couple of days away, luckily. Main event for this final tour show. Dragons Den blast off 8-man tag. As Kurosuke Takeshita will be beating Daniel Garcia. So, it's kind of crazy that the Dragons Den, you have all these, incredible technical kind of Gaijin dudes, and O'Reilly and Roddy and Daniel Garcia. Then you got Tamura as the big heater, and the muscle and the man, and the double champion, taking on Blastoff and the team that's, Kurosuke Takeshita, Abe, Ibushi, Jason Lee. Takeshita beating Daniel Garcia in the main event. It's nice to see. Nice to see it. As Claudio Nishino taking on Kenta and Shota Umino. 25-minute matchup here, as Ashino's going to beat Umino. Nice little tag match, though. Like it a lot. Then we'll have, I'm assuming this is the Steel Show matchup. Top Flight versus Moriarty and Gulak. Well, it's not. So the regular old matchup, Lee Moriarty beating Darius Martin in 20 minutes. Nice little matchup there. Oh, this is Steel Show matchup. Kingston Rex Steiner. As I love this match, though. I would love to see this in real life. But, Rex is not as great as I thought he was going to be in the save, as he's going to get destroyed probably by Kingston, ratings-wise. But I want to have them go 10, 12 minutes, beat the fuck out of each other, put on a show. In that short amount of time, though, they should be able to do it. As Tozawa and Hook taking on Fujinami and Hashimoto. Hopefully, Tozawa is able to wrestle. I do think, the abdominal strain might still be able to, might be still affecting him. Yep, it is. It is. Well, we could have Takanori Ito. We just had him on the Strong taping. He did alright for himself. We might have him be out there for this one. No, we'll just call an audible completely and go in a different direction. Let's go. Trying to think. No, Debrada's not really a good call. We might go Phantasm and Del Sol here. Maybe even Ryu Lee. Yeah, fuck it. We haven't used Ryu at all this entire tour, as far as with Mr. Dragon Lee, Ryu Lee. He's a main event player for sure. So he's going to help elevate this matchup by far. But we're still going to have Fujinami and Hashimoto get the win. Just Phantasma's going to take the loss. And then the opener, Flyer and Dragon Bane taking on Naria Takagawa and Masahiro Hara. Two young lions that they don't have any chemistry or anything, so it's just going to be a pretty bare-bones match. That is mainly just to give Dragon Bane and Flyer a chance to team up and see what they can do. I think we should be good to go, though. Yep. Yeah, that we are. Gulak is wrestling with a pulled calf muscle, if I remember correctly. Doing a couple of days we were off from Tozawa. Yeah, swollen calf muscle. As far as that injury. I can't believe Takuma Nomura is going to come back, though, from the mild thoracic spinal cord injury. With that is definitely going to affect him long term. He might even retire. There's a little snowball's chance that that's going to happen. It's a 56 for Flyer and Dragon Bane against Masahiro Hara and Naria Takagawa. 29s from both young lions. Flyer with a 61, 57 for Dragon Bane. Yeah, Dragon Bane getting the win with the moonsault. 67 from Phantasm and Ryu Lee. And we now know that they are not the greatest of teams. But Daichi Hashimoto, Leono Fujinami getting the win. Fujinami with the double underhook. Wish they were a little bit better, but we'll take it. Oh, and they don't click either with Eddie Kingston and Rex Steiner. This has turned into a pretty god-awful tour show. As they're getting a bit of a clusterfuck here at the Beibu Beacon Plaza. Sliding D from Kingston over Rex Steiner. There we go, 74 from Gulak and Moriarty over Top Flight as the Taiga Driver. 18 for Moriarty over Darius Martin. I mean, wrong team probably won based off of the injury from Drew Gulak, but if that injury's not there, they're smoking them. 79 for the co-main event. Claudio and Nishino beating Yumino and Kenta as Yumino taking the ankle lock. It's a hell of a match, though. Especially for Shota Yumino, man. He's come a long way. Come a long way. And 79 for the main event. We got there eventually, but it was not for the faint of heart, that beginning show. There's a lot, or beginning of the show, there's a lot of bullshit involved. But we got out of that relatively unscathed. Luckily, nobody got hurt. It was kind of the main thing. But yeah, Konosuke Takeshita, yeah, Tamura, best guys in the match. You love to see it. Love to see it. Somehow it gets to 77. Shocking. Shocking indeed. On to the Sapporo Dome for this Wrestle Grand Slam final show. As then we just have, for episode 100, the Tag League. Episode 101, Wrestle Kingdom. Be the start of a new chapter, really. When you kind of, I think it's a great kind of setup as far as to have episode 101 be a Wrestle Kingdom. Be a great starting point for those if you're hopping on late, type of thing. Start there and work your way up. But as far as this final show, hoping for a banger. Sonata and Hiromu, I think, should pull it off. We'll see. So before we get into the actual final show, this was the young lion I was talking about, Tsunoshi Joshua, which, what a name. First of all, at 6'1", 238 pounds, this man is the future Japanese pro wrestler. You look at some of these stats: star quality at 88, sex appeal at 80. He's charismatic. He could act. He's 82 out of 100 on aerial skills, so that's insane. Flashiness there. Consistency, too, which is insane. To think about somebody from like a high-flying background to be that consistent, too. And I love how his finish is a gorilla back fist. Unreal. Unreal. But, yeah, I mean, just his stats are crazy. Like, hey, I mean, he can't really do a whole lot besides the high-flying shit. But, like, psychology's pretty good for someone, again, who's still in his rookie year. He literally entered wrestling last year. So he's about to be 1 full year in the business. And he was, let's see. So this is the final show. of an All Japan tour. He gets a 66 here against another fellow young lion, which I feel bad for all the other young lions in his group. And then he gets around a 55 on the tour shows. So, pretty crazy. Ring King's show, Randy Rainen himself, as he outperformed him with a 62. Crazy. It's cool that happens, though, because I'm assuming maybe their dojo is the same level as ours, but I'm assuming it's not. But to think that kind of like no matter where you come from, you might get just a star. And they absolutely got one. That's All Japan. Better than almost all of our young lions combined, to be honest. So it's just very, very funny to see that. One just came in from the LA dojo that I like a lot, that I sent down to, I believe I have him down in CMLL now. Let me take a look, see if he is. Oh, no, he's not. He's, he's Jerome St. Pierre. I haven't given him a picture or anything, as he just signed. But, as far as another 6'1" guy. But what I like is his brawling's pretty high, and his technical skills are pretty solid for what they are. But again, it's just funny to look at these stats compared to the stats we just saw, and it's like, goddamn, he's not even close to the previous one. And he's a LA Dojo kid as well. God, we have so much money at our disposal. They want us in the Nissan Stadium in Yokohama. I wish. I fucking wish. But yeah, we've basically ran the Sapporo Dome here for the past couple of years. Don't think it's going to change. But hopefully, it will be a sellout, hopefully. Oh, it is. Okay, we're fine. Good. Alright, so, I want to make sure, do we have a backstage incident? Oh, finally, we don't have one. Good. There was a 92 last year. Volter and Konosuke Takeshita, which is crazy that was only a 92. Not sure exactly what happened there. But the main event, Hiromu, Sonata. Never weight title matchup. Sonata will retain. Because, of course, the program for Wrestle Kingdom is him and Nakamura. And that's going to be a hell of a match, though. And yeah, they've had, again, like I said, they've had a couple of big-time singles matches. Yeah, Sonata won the Intercontinental title from him at Wrestle Kingdom. That was their first singles match a couple of years back. Of course, that was still when he was a part of LIJ. Then the heavyweight title matchup later on that year, which Hiromu won. And they had had a singles match since then for a title. So they had a G1 match earlier this year. Hiromu beat him, which is why this match is happening to begin with. But that was a 93. We ran it then. So hopefully around the same rating, maybe even better. That'd be great. Then we'll have the co-main. Ray Phoenix, Rob Eagles. As Rob Eagles does in fact beat Ray Phoenix. So this is a major, major win. And I cannot believe Ray Phoenix is not complaining about that. That's going to be crazy. Because he's going to outperform him by at least 20, 30 points. Maybe even more. Then Koji Kamai, House of Torture. The Never Openweight 6-man title matchup. As they do in fact retain. Yeah, just size. Too big for him. It's House of Torture there. But a nice little matchup. It's nice to see Jay White and Okada in these kind of... As far as Jay White's not really changed, it's just a part of House of Torture, but they're completely different. Kazuchika Okada, than what Jay White's used to facing. Then the non-title 6-man, United Empire. Or not United Empire, Hideo Tamura, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong of the Dragons Den taking on Blast Off. And Konosuke Takeshita, Kota Ibushi, and Fuminori Abe. As Konosuke Takeshita will be getting the win there. Not going to pick a winner, or not pick a loser, rather, just to kind of see who Konosuke pins. Then we have the Time Splitters Velocities match for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Sentinels for Steal the Show. Jude London beating Alex Shelley here. I think it's a good call. Velocities keep the belt. Then Pentagon Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan Strong Openweight title. Tanahashi gets his win back, in fact. So a tough day for the Lucha Brothers, losing both chances at some titles and double champions. Opportunities down the drain for them. Tough break for them. Then we have United Empire. Peace, Love, and War. As Lee Moriarty beating Alex Coughlin in this one. But yeah, United Empire, hell of a team. Nice little win for them going into the final going into the tag league, rather. It's in Tactical Match class from Task Force Death versus Suzuki Gun, as Takanori Ito will be beating Eddie Kingston. So that's a big win for Suzuki Gun. Love it, though. We'll see how Takanori Ito does in his debut. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty straightforward stuff. We will have, as far as post-show press conference, we'll have one with Sonata as far as hyping up the Nakamura matchup. So I kind of want to, as far as, well, I think we'll just have him not appear. Say he's banned from the arena after, as far as just for the safety of the staff or whatnot. I don't really put over that these two men absolutely hate each other. I'm trying to think who else. We'll, actually, yeah, let's just go with the Designers of Perfection as a whole, right? We'll go Velocities as well, so we'll go to London. There's De Silva. As the champions, as far as Designers of Perfection. About calling them DAWs. Designers of Perfection. Or Designers of Perfection. There we go. DOP. We'll go House of Torture, I guess, for the other one. As far as Jay White calling Okada a coward or something, or along those lines. Kind of saying this is the, that's not the same Kazuchika Okada that he had wars with. He's not the same Okada that he beat at Wrestle Kingdom. This version is a slap in the face of Kazuchika Okada's ability and talent. Just kind of cutting more of a shoot promo on that, more than anything. I'm trying to think who else. Blast Off. Konosuke Takeshita. He knows how important that opportunity is. He's not going to let it slip. Yeah, for him, this is just a huge opportunity for both guys. But someone that he himself, he's envisioning the win. He's preparing. He's going to take this entire December to focus on getting better, stamina-wise, strength-wise, conditioning, everything, as far as really wanting to bring his best shape, his best form. It's a night that he cannot squabble, it's a night that he is focused on winning, and a night that he is not taking lightly either. He knows he's got to be at his best to take on a guy like Ado Tamura in a big time opportunity, the main event, and it's not dawned on him, how he's not underselling how big of an opportunity that is for him to be in the main event of the biggest show, but to think that he can be IWGP Heavyweight Champion, that's the goal. That's what he's got his sights set on, and he's just a mere almost a month away from that goal. Again, just kind of a lot of promoting of Wrestle Kingdom. That's what you're going to get, obviously, once you get into the Octobers and Novembers of the schedule. It's the big-time show. You got to build to it. And, I think we've definitely done a pretty good job. So far, we've got almost an entire card kind of lined up. We have a nice little Never Openweight title matchup with Sonata and Nakamura. We're going to obviously decide who's going to be the tag team champions, as far as who's going to take on the tag champions, with Zack Sabre Jr. and Volter taking on the winners of the tag league in the next episode. We also, of course, the main event in Tamura Konosuke Takeshita, also the women's triple threat. And, we actually are going to have on the tag league a fun little, we'll call it the New Japan Junior Rumble. 15 juniors competing for a chance to take on Robbie Eagles at Wrestle Kingdom. We also have, as far as the Junior Tag League winners, taking on the Junior Tag Champions. So that's going to be exciting to see. Because as far as, that's going to be a pretty good matchup for the junior tag league winners in Francesco Akira and Eddie Del Airbender to take on the Velocity. That's going to be a pretty good matchup. Pretty good matchup for sure. So yeah, as far as let's run it. See what we get. 77 for the opener. Dragon Arito with a 64. It's it's a little bit better of a debut than I expected, to be honest. I figured it'd be like high 50s, but that's not a bad starting point. Kenta and Shino killing it though. 92, 88. Claudio with a 76 is a little bit disheartening, but again, he's up there. He's up there in age, and he's probably declining physically. Oh wow. Overwhelmed by a manager. That's I just now saw that. Huh. Interesting. Excuse me. That's tough. Poor Claudio, getting overwhelmed out there. 91 though for the next matchup. Lee Moriarty, Falter, and Zack Sabre Jr. having a banger with Juice Robinson, Barbaro Cavanero, and Coughlin. So yeah, Coughlin losing the joint custody. All around good matchup, and United Empire still just a strong ass force. In New Japan, Tanahashi and Pentagon Jr. having a good little matchup. An 80 here. It's Tanahashi with the high fly flow. Not bad at all. Second offense for the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. So 74 for the Time Splitters against the Velocities. So that's their first defense, junior tag team titles. It's Jude London beating Alex Shelley. Just a couple of points better was the Velocities there. That's awesome, though. Shows you how long or how far the Velocities have come. They were a pretty good team from the beginning, too, but once they got their footing and they got their chance, they have crushed it. Knocked out of the park. 91 from Dragon's Den and Blast Off, as far as Konosuke to catch up with a 91, 85 for Tamura. Boy, oh boy, cannot wait. As O'Reilly tapping out to the wall of Takeshita in 22-16. 81 for Koji Kamai and House of Torture. As, Okada. Almost the worst guy on his team. That is shocking. Brody King is still doing pretty bad. That was a 68. That's not great. Jay White and Miro both off their games. Just a bit of a shit show here. Should have been a little bit better, but we got a declining Okada. Everybody was inconsistent on the House of Torture side. Just pretty brutal stuff. Another 81. As, damn. I thought it'd be a little bit better here. But so far, the title matches have kind of swung and missed on this Sapporo show as Red Phoenix. Losing to Robbie Eagles, though, with a huge upset win from Robbie Eagles with the Warp 4-5 and is still the junior heavyweight champion. Man, our main event's an 84. Lack of psychology again fucks us. Sonata with a 78. Jesus Christ. He could never deliver on the big time stage, it seems like. Unreal. But Oromu outperformed him, killed it. Sonata, bit of a disappointment. Just brutal. Brutal stuff. Konosuke Takeshita, that was a good little press conference. Jay White did well in his, and so did Designers of Perfection. Well, Sonata, more importantly. Percy Silva and Jude London kind of stunk it up. Well, damn. Here I was expecting this show to be better than the first one, and the Tokyo Dome show cleared it by far. It's weird. Yeah, it was just lack of psychology artists in the main and co-main, and inconsistency here. Just the title matches just did not deliver. The six-man matches were the best things on the card. Just very funny. The non-title ones, too. Just a weird-ass show. But yeah, I want to put over Konosuke Takeshita. Would like to put over... Probably, yeah, we'll go Zach. For that one. And then, Hiromu, to be honest. He had a really, really good performance. So did Ray Phoenix. Either way, we could have went with that, but since we put over Ray Phoenix in, as far as in the previous show, it just kind of makes sense. But yeah, loving that. Loving it. Alrighty, so that will do it for episode 99. It is in the books. We did it. We made it through another tour. Luckily unscathed. And now, the final tour of 2025 is upon us. For episode 100, we got a pretty big final show, though, with that the Junior Rumble. That's going to be a fun little challenge and a fun little change of pace. I don't know if it's going to be a yearly thing. I think it's a fun one-time thing to determine who's going to be the junior challenger for Robbie Eagles, as far as from that perspective. And yeah, as far as hopefully it all goes well. That Sapporo show, though, just a bit of a stinker. Luckily, we're on our own platform, so we don't have to worry about anything big. But yeah, just a bit of a swing and a miss on that one, which has been a bit of a theme for some of those major shows. Yeah, just kind of curious to see how was the last one, because I kind of forget. Yeah, it was a 92. So, weirdly enough, it being an 85, I mean, that's a... Yeah, look, usually we get around 92, 93. So it is a step down, but it's not a complete step down. Yeah, just brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. But, it's the way she goes. We gotta move on, we gotta continue on. And on to the Tag League for episode 100. We'll catch you guys then. Take care, everyone.